Hi there, it's Pamela for Compassionate Community Voice. I've been thinking a lot about the singing circles that we've held in Calgary and other places in Western Canada over these past few weeks because the venue that we've been using in Calgary will be changing in September. So many of you who've attended will have been to Linda Taylor's home in Roxborough, and she's moving house finally, moving on with exciting things in her life. And so that home will no longer be a space, although we will find other lovely spaces to work. But as that cycle comes to a close, I've been really thinking about and sort of contemplating and considering where we've been all these years. And I think one of the pieces of magic that has sort of bubbled to the surface as I think about singing circles. I often think about, in terms of, my business coaching hat, what is it that makes something successful? And by successful, I mean in service, that there's a community of people who gather around it and it has sort of a steady flow of interest and engagement. And with the singing circles, I think there are a lot of pieces. But one of the things that really strikes me the most is that, it's our relationship as humans to this thing we call love. And that sounds pretty big and metaphysical, but it's actually fairly straightforward. I mean, I think all of us can relate to this idea that in many of our relationships, love is somehow contaminated. That yes, there might be love there, but there are also things that one of my teachers would call anti-love. That there are things that, are conditional, that are about games being played, that are about, people kind of repeating patterns or engaging emotionally in ways that perpetuate either their worst or perhaps, if you're a narcissist, your best beliefs about yourself. And so there are a lot of ways that we humans try to do love, and I think those of us on the path of self-awareness are sincere in that search. And then there are just a lot of snags and games and tricky bits that we come across along the way. And it strikes me that, and there would be a number of events and situations and containers created that would have the same net effect. But one of the beautiful net effects of Singing Circle is that I believe, and I'd love to hear your comments down below, but I believe that based on my own experience and the feedback I've had, that we get a few little moments. It might just be seconds at a time. But at Singing Circle, we get those few moments of this unconditional love, a love that doesn't have really a specific object, right? It's not about who we're singing with, a specific person necessarily, because we're all just actors in creating this container. It's important that somebody facilitates it, but that wouldn't have to be me. It could be someone else. It's important that there are enough people in the room to create sound or to play the percussion instruments or to use their voices and to hold the silent space in between. But it doesn't necessarily matter who shows up as long as we agree to and fulfill that contract of being that safe container for each other. And so there are these moments that out of that and out of the vibration of the songs and the messaging of the songs and the experience of sharing that together in a specific way, that these little moments of unconditional love bubble up. And I think for me personally, that's something that's really healing. That's one of the reasons I circled back around to music at all in my life. And so I hope that that's something that folks experience at Singing Circle, or I hope that that's something that you experience somewhere in your life in a particular space or place that you create for yourself. And it's often in some of these healing practices or contemplative practices or creative places, anywhere that you're creating, whether that's your garden or, the car you're fixing, or the food you're making, or the song you're singing, doesn't really matter. Anyways, I'd be really curious to hear from you, because I test out these theories of, okay, well, why is it that this has attracted so many people over the years and has had such a flow of energy and has been so sustainable? And I'm really curious about that. And I have my own ideas, but I would love to hear from you if you have other ideas. So please comment down below. That would be a great gift and source of joy to me if you would share that with me. So once again, it's Pamela for Compassionate Community Voice. Thanks so much for watching, and thanks in advance for any comments that you choose to leave. Take care.